This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smithem, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
I'm Nancy Smithem. My first guest today is J.R. Rodriguez from Thunder Bay Theater. Hi, J.R.
Hiya, Nancy. How are you, darling?
I'm great, doing really well.
Good.
And you ended your summer season with a big band.
Yep.
You had Legally Blonde. And?
It's very successful. I mean, the summer itself was ridiculously successful.
It was.
We were really happy with Cat, Smokey Joe's, and Legally Blonde. So, yeah, we had a great summer. Now it's, you know, we had a great summer. It was great. We had fun, this, that, and the other. Now it's time to move on.
And we're here for the fall season, and you're kicking it off in a big way.
I think so. It's to me, it is. I was actually talking to Usher and Bruce Michaud and Randy Bouchard the other day. It is one of, if not the most noble of all musicals, and it's Man La Mancha, which is Dale Wasserman's tale of Cervantes going to prison and playing out the story of Don Quixote, the Dauntless Knight. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it. The set is something. So we're actually using the 1966 Broadway set, the concept. Yeah.
Oh, yay!
My mentor Lou Criscola was in the original cast on Broadway. He was the original Anselmo, and then Angel Rodriguez got sick, and he had to take over the role of Sancho Panza. Now our Sancho Panza, of course, is David Usher. But we're trying to stick to the original blocking, the original staging, and the original set from the Broadway show in 1966.
Well, when you mentioned two names, Bruce Michaud and David Usher, I know it's going to be a great production, but fill us in on who else will be there.
Oh, we got a great group. We have Terry Carlson, Carol Rundell, Bill Powell, of course, Nikki Hilton, Derek Spack, LaShawn Bell, Zach Clement, Hannah Madkey, Mac Fountain, Landon Ravala, Mariah Pearl, Riley McGuire, I'm sure I'm missing somebody, Randy Bouchard.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but yeah, it's a wonderful cast.
So you have a lot of local people in this cast.
Certainly, yeah, and that's what we've tried to do. I mean, since I took over as artistic director, I want to use more of the local folks, simply because there's so much talent here, and I think it's underused. And you know, we're fortunate, and then again, we're not so lucky. I mean, we have 11 shows a year, but that gives everybody an opportunity. It doesn't matter the age group. It gives everybody an opportunity to be on stage. And I'm lucky with Man La Mancha. I mean, some of these folks are like really, really dear friends of mine.
Yes.
And it's, you know, it's like every night is a picnic. Especially with Rundell in the cast, because she always brings food.
Oh,
Oh, I forgot Suni Travis is playing El Danza.
Okay.
So, yeah.
all right, so tell me about the roles, how you're bringing them to life on the stage.
You know, we have a segment that we put on YouTube. It's called Inside Thunder Bay Theater, and it's based on Inside the Actors Studio in New York. And we did some of the interviews last night. And I was talking with Powell. It's kind of like the same format that you and I have. He said that it's not the historical value of Don Quixote. What it is, it's the human aspect of these characters, especially his character. He plays the bad guy. There's a shock, Bill Powell playing the bad guy. But this time he's playing a sensitive bad guy. I mean, he thinks what he's doing is right, and then he realizes what he's done has ruined this poor man's life. With Usher, it's just all about heart. I don't think that there's much research that goes in to the way that David and I are playing each other, because we are that close. We're the best of friends. And that's the way Don Q and Sancho are. They're just the best of friends. And so with Usher and me, we have so much fun. And then you have Suni Travis, who, the minute she starts singing, I mean, you can't help but turn and look. And she feels the emotions that come out in Aldon's. You know, it's a woman that has never been treated with respect by a man, and so this is new to her. This is weird to her, and Suni brings that into every aspect of the character. Yeah, yeah. It's one of the most important shows to me, simply because of Lou being in the Broadway cast, but the story itself. You know, the story of The Night of the Woeful Countenance was something that I grew up with. Being Spanish, you know who Don Quixote is. You have no choice. And that's where I think that's where the love affair that I have with respect for other people comes from. I certainly know it came from my father, and my father was the one that taught me about Don Quixote.
So when can we come to see? You've roped us in.
We open on September 27th.
Okay.
And we run through September 14th.
October 14th.
October 14th. Sorry,
Okay.
yes, October 14th. 3 weeks.
Okay. And make sure you call ahead, get your tickets in. Everyone loves a musical, especially be able to see Man of La Mancha in our own backyard is going to be phenomenal.
We already have 200 tickets reserved. So yeah, if you call now.
Okay.
Because they're going quick.
Okay. And then I know you have a fundraiser coming up.
We have a fundraiser coming in, and it's really special for us because, you know, Charles Madison and his wife Michelle have become very close to the members of Thunder Bay Theater, and Michelle worked for John Benson for a while, and that's where we met Charles. He's put together this new band, and this is their coming out party. And so it's a fundraiser for us, yes, but it's also a night of great music with Charles and his new band, and we have some surprises that are happening the same night. So, and John Benson's going to supply food, and that's going to be on October 26th. Tickets are only $10.
Wow.
And we hope we have a big crowd. We're looking forward to it. And Charles is one of the sweetest human beings you could possibly meet. He's just as nice as he can be. And when he came to me and said, JR, you know, would it be all right if I rented the theater? I'm like, absolutely not. We're not going to let you rent it, man. We want you to just come in and play.
Yes.
You know, so.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back and talk some more about Thunder Bay Theater.
All right, sounds great.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm back with JR Rodriguez from Thunder Bay Theater. So JR, you have some special artwork at the theater right now, too? We
do. We're very fortunate. If you have been to the Owl downtown, you see this mural on the side of the Owl.
Yes.
It was done by Brooke Stevens, and we have. After I went to the showing of it, or the opening, or whatever you would call it, I had to meet her because it's just such a beautiful piece of artwork.
Oh, it is.
And I asked her because Dick Bremer has done this wonderful thing and put these shelves in the lobby now. I went up to her and I'm like, would you like to show your artwork over at the theater? She's like, well, I have it here, 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 and there. I'm like, well, the more you have out, the more there's a chance you're going to sell.
Sure.
So, yeah, she came by with some of her artwork, and it's just incredible. And she's got this Mad Hatter that I'd really like to buy. But, and then she's got one of the theater and a few other pieces. It's wonderful work, I think. Incredibly talented. And she's a sweet lady, too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now the next production you're so excited about?
I think a lot of people are excited about it, and a lot of them are nervous about it. You know, it's going to be the Alpena debut of Rent. The show that basically shocked New York into putting a mirror in front of themselves. Jonathan Larson, who wrote it, died 2 days before it opened. He died of a heart ailment. What Rent has turned into around the world, I mean, not just in America, but around the world, it's a kinder, gentler version of Hair. And I honestly think it has more heart. It's based on Rossini's La Boheme. And instead of Italy, it takes place in New York City, in the East Village. And instead of 4 of the cast members having cancer, they have AIDS. And it's based on the AIDS scare of the 1990s. But the music, if you think that you know nothing about Rent, I can tell you, you've heard the music. You have no choice. I remember back in the late 90s and the first part of the new century, that's all you listened to. I mean, everywhere was the music of Rent, and we have we have high hopes for it. We just want people to understand that it's not about, Rent is not about going to the theater. Rent is an event.
Okay.
It always is. We also have, we're working with Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, as a fundraiser for the AIDS Society, simply because Rent is one of the shows that have become that important to the American canon. I've always been taught that there are 5 shows, including Rent, there are 5 shows that have changed thought process when it comes to theater. And it's Oklahoma, West Side Story, A Chorus Line, Annie, and Rent.
Wow.
And Wicked, I think, with the technical aspect in the book of Wicked, Wicked will be there, but it's still running.
Right.
Hasn't closed yet.
Right.
But the one that I really pushed for this year when we were selecting shows was Rent. I really wasn't worried about Cats. You know, those are the 2 big new ones that we're doing this year, Cats and Rent. I wasn't worried about Cats. I do worry a little bit about Rent because I think on the surface, when you say the word AIDS, people shut off. Well, that's a shame. I mean, you don't have to be gay to have AIDS.
Correct.
Arthur Ashe, you know, the great tennis player, he died of AIDS, and it was from a blood transfusion.
Right.
So, I mean, I hope what we can do with Rent is make people a little less afraid of life.
Okay.
Life on a whole.
So who do we have in this production?
Well, right now we have the core company.
Okay.
Hannah Matke is playing Maureen. Emily Tchaikovsky is Mimi. Derek is Roger Davis. Everybody wants to play Roger Davis. Everybody wants to sing One Song Glory. Okay, there you go. Mac Fountain is playing the role of Mark Cohen. LaShawn Bell is playing the role of Tom Collins. Nikki Hilton is playing Joanne. And we have Kevin Ray Johnson coming in. Wonderful guy. What a sweetheart of a guy, and he's done the show before. We have him coming in. He's going to be playing Benny. He's going to be playing the bad guy. But what a sweet, sweet guy he is. He was just in Alaska doing Next to Normal up there, flew home, did Next to Normal again in Pennsylvania. Now he's doing something there, and he's like, JR, can I come on Saturday the 29th? I'm like, sure, that's great. He's like, good. I want to go ahead and get started, get the book out of my hand, and this. I'm like, okay, man, that's great with me. So
wow.
We're really excited about it, and we have some more folks. Amy Truth is going to join us. Zach Clement, of course, is going to be in the show. We have Dylan Goyke. We have a lot of locals, a lot of local young people. Because the theater is not just for retirees, the theater is also for young folks, and we want to combine those audiences. So
plus nurture them and train them.
Certainly. You see
them.
People come to the theater like Annie Martin and Larry Martin. It's 2 of the sweetest people in the world, but they're going to be there for every show.
Right.
You know, and we can't. Say enough about people like the Martins, Colleen Carroll. They're there all the time, you know, and without them, we have no place to show our wares.
True.
And so I think that the people, since I've taken over the job of artistic director, I think the people of Alpena have been exceptionally supportive of the theater. And I don't think they mind so much that we take chances now, you know.
Well, we want you to, yeah.
I would think, yeah. I mean, you can only see Oklahoma so many times.
Yes. So what are the dates for Rent?
Rent opens on November 1st, and it runs through November 17th. It's the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So we don't necessarily have a Halloween show this year. That's going to be Charles's concert.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be our Halloween show.
Okay.
And we're excited about the whole Rent experience because, like we're doing with Man of La Mancha, we're going to use the same concept for the set. We're going to use the Broadway set. That's where our ideas are coming from.
Okay.
So.
And once again, Man of La Mancha, we can come to Thunder Bay Theater on?
It opens on September 27th, and it runs through October 14th.
Okay. And then the fundraiser for with the band?
Is October 26th. Yeah, at 7 o'clock. I think it's 7 o'clock.
Okay. Fun, food and refreshments,
Yeah.
a wonderful chance to see a new band, and their first gig and first of many.
Absolutely, that's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. And and then Benson, of course. Benson's
Right.
bringing food over. You
And
gotta love
always
John
good.
Benson. Absolutely,
Always,
you gotta love
always
John
good.
Benson. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Well,
and
thank you, Nancy.
Keep up the good work, and I know thanks for bringing good theater to our community where you don't have to go far away to see all these wonderful productions.
Well, that's the hope. We want you guys to keep coming back.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, dear.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joynton, president of Alpena Community College. My guests this morning are Kaylyn Schultz, who is an ACC nursing student. Welcome, Kaylyn.
Thank you.
And Diane O'Connor, a member of our nursing faculty. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
And our topic this morning is a bone marrow drive, or at least the setup leading to such a drive, that's being taken on by the Student Nurses Association at ACC. So sounds like a very interesting topic. Are you, I'm sure you're a member of the association. Are you an officer?
Everyone, I am not an officer yet. I'm members of the committee, the pinning committee, when we get pinned, when we graduate.
Very good.
I'm not on the board, but I'm active in that.
Well, good for you. Diane, how about giving us a little background on how all this got started? It's a fascinating
Well,
story.
I'm so happy to, and I think this is an incredible opportunity for our community. And the quick background is we're going to be helping with and actually hosting a bone marrow donor drive on October 4th on our campus at the Besser Technical Center Commons Room from 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, hoping to make ourselves the most available to our community as we can. But how this opportunity came to us is there is a member in our community, family member, who had an experience with another family member who needed a bone marrow transplant because of a very rare form of leukemia that she had been diagnosed with. And she was one of the fortunate ones, it turned out, to actually find a match on our National Bone Marrow Registry. And the family learned as a result of that that there aren't enough donors on the registry, and that many people, in fact about 6 out of 10 people who need a bone marrow or stem cell transplant actually never find a match. And for them, that is their hope. So this family became very interested in advocating for this cause, for raising awareness about the need, and brought that to our community, which I think is just typical of Alpena.
What a compliment for us.
Well, and to always be looking for how we can improve health care, well, in our particular case, of course, health care, but just improve people's quality of lives. So this family approached us and wanted to know if we would help them get the word out, be advocates, help run this donor drive, and we said, of course. And I've had an amazing response from our nursing student body, and we have now educated ourselves in this need as well.
Oh, that's a great story. Kaylyn, how did the nurses, the nursing students hear about this, and how did the enthusiasm build to the point where we are now?
Well, Diane said she sent out an email over the summer just inquiring who would be interested in helping with the drive if we were to host it, if there was enough interest that, if we committed to doing it, that we would have the help to do it. And I myself was very interested because I have a family history with cancer. A lot of people in my family have had cancer, and none of them leukemia, but I'm still very active in cancer research and, you know, helping the people who need help. And I think a lot of the students feel that way, and it's a learning experience too. It's something we don't see every day, and as nurses we need to know if someone comes to us with leukemia and says, what can we do? There's always...
What is it, I'm going to test your learning here, what is it that the replacement of bone marrow does for a leukemia patient?
It helps their immune system, and the bone marrow is what your blood cells stem from. Your blood cells are created by bone marrow, and
so
if you have
a leukemia patient that's compromised, and
right, the bone marrow, they need healthy bone marrow to replace their blood cells because the cancer is in their blood cells.
Okay. Now, I looked at the qualifications for being screened, and it looks like I missed the boat a little bit in the age category. I was disappointed to see. Is the screening process scary or difficult?
Oh my gosh, it's not. And I think there is that misperception that there is pain involved, and there isn't. It's a simple swabbing of the cheeks, on both sides of your cheeks, with what looks like a great big long Q-tip. And that's just to get a DNA sample. That's all it takes from you to be a donor and placed into the registry. Well, that and filling out a very short application. There are some restrictions in terms of who is eligible to be a donor, as you said. Age is one of the restrictions, have to be between the ages of 18 and 55, and be in relative good health. And there are some health problems that people might have that would not make them eligible to be a donor. But that people come, we can discuss that with them, and people then can decide whether they are eligible. But the big thing about being a donor, I think that people have to keep in mind as well too, is there has to be this sense of commitment on their part. That if they are a match for somebody, you know, when you think of what a gift that would be, and that you would consider yourself that this is a commitment for you, that if you were matched. I'm a regular blood
donor, and I get the same kind of sense of connection to other human beings when I donate blood, and I imagine maybe the same would be true for a bone marrow donor, maybe even more so.
You could save a life with the bone marrow.
Well, either way, but maybe from people who are already blood donors and have that mentality, you'd be able to do some recruiting. So this screening event is going to be, is it going to be on the Alpena Community College campus on October 4th, and what location on the campus?
In the Besser Tech Center. It's room 109, is the Commons area.
Okay. So people who wanted to show up on October 4th, let's see, is that a Thursday? Between what hours?
It's from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m.
10 to 5 on Thursday, October 4th. And just come right in Besser Tech.
Yep.
And just go straight back towards the Commons.
Yep. And there will be student nurses there to help.
To greet you,
yep.
Tie you up, pull you in.
We have about 20 of our student nurses, a little more than 20, who are going to be volunteering that day.
Now the registry, is it connected in any way with the American Cancer Society or an independent
It's actually, it's called DKMS, and it is the largest bone marrow registry center in the world.
Wow.
And we actually, that organization started in Germany, and we now have one in New York as well. And any samples collected here will go into that particular registry.
So a person who shows up for the screening, to getting that simple swab of the mouth, would then wait to hear whether there was a match, and then be called to go in to have the actual bone marrow transplant being made.
If it was determined they were a match for somebody, then the first thing they would do is go through another health exam to make sure that they are nothing has changed.
Well, we need to wrap it up,
okay.
But thank you very much both for being on the program today and for taking on this project. It's a real credit to the ACC nursing program that you would get involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smithem and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.